Well, this week we had quite the week of our videos. Had fun ones, had some good ones, and then we had some, what'd you say, controversial ones?
No. I don't think we've ever made a controversial video, ever.
I think it's funny how we're controversial. Don't you? Like how, like...
It is a little bit, yeah. Yeah, like that people get so offended by some of the stuff that we say or that we insinuate in some of our videos.
Or even like, sometimes we're not even insinuating something, but it gets misinterpreted. And I don't know how, because we're very simple in the way we kind of do stuff.
Yeah.
And it gets taken out of context, and people lose.
By Karens.
We legit had a Karen.
You do not get to be in my neighborhood.
What is your problem?
Like, and it's no offense to other Karens out there. We had a Karen on Facebook who did not like the word sissy.
Yeah.
I
called my little sister Sissy for the longest time.
I know, you still call her your sissy, right?
I call her by her
we had
name
a dog named Sissy when I was really little, right?
My friend's mom's name is Sissy.
So I don't know. I don't know, but yeah,
I didn't think it was that big a deal.
So that was controversial this week, and then we had our video that came out earlier in the week.
Monday, maybe?
Yeah,
Monday.
We'll have Connor throw a little snippet up there,
right
there.
Oh, boy!
And it's just so funny because it's kind of reflective. Like we've been doing lately a lot with our stuff is hitting on world issues, but on the farm. And bring it down and back to the farm. That's one of our favorite things to do is bring content and relate it to the farm. That's what we've always done, actually. Yeah. And everything we do, the funny humor that people have said they've followed us from originally is still there. It's just that we're hitting more topical issues too, and it's really funny to see people's reactions to, and it was not even an opinion, but just to like the comedic side of all this.
Oh yeah, some people do not enjoy comedy, or they don't understand it, I guess.
Yeah, no, they just don't. They don't want
jokes go over people's heads too often, or they think too deep into it. It's like you can't find that sweet spot.
Or we just got to be better writers.
That's probably it. It's definitely our writing.
Whoever's
writing our stuff needs to get on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever that is.
Yeah. Come on, you writers. Yeah, just like Daryl and Gate Bar, you're gonna get us in trouble.
Yeah.
You're gonna get us canceled. So you guys need to tone it down. I know y'all watch this.
Yeah. Come on.
And one guy told us, y'all should hire some Hollywood writers to make your stuff funny. I'm just laughing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they couldn't write for a while, but
hey, they're back to work now.
Yep. Back to work doing the Lord's work that they love to do, in ways such as virtue signaling.
Don't get me started. What was that you said?
Virtue signaling.
When I said,
oh, yeah.
Daryl, what's virtue signaling?
He's referencing another video.
Yes.
What's virtue signaling mean?
Nope, not going to touch that one. Yeah, and I'm like...
Public square.
Not going to touch that one. Nope. Yeah. Every time you ask me a question about what's going on in this world...
Back to what we were just talking about. Somebody gets angry.
Somebody gets their panties in a wad.
Yeah.
And that's what happened this week. Yes. But it's a reflection of what's been happening this week in the world.
Yeah, a lot has been happening this week in the world.
And going back to like people who... I think people do it in faith a lot. People do it in just context of social media a lot. That people want to act like they're doing something.
Yeah.
But
virtue signal.
It's virtue signaling, but they don't really back it up or actually believe what they're doing. They're doing it because it's what everyone else is doing. And that, to me, that when you're not being true or real to yourself, that's where I kind of lose respect for people.
Like we were talking about a politician going in to a soup kitchen and getting that photo up, like, look at me, and then leaving.
I've been here for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I got my photo.
Or you go, down somewhere south and take a photo op in front of a fence, maybe a big wall. Crying.
And it's a parking lot.
Stage. Or like even people referencing this week, like throwing up a flag in your bio or, things like that. It's like, what good does that really do if you're just saying that? But do you really believe it or back it up? It's like us wearing our crosses. It's like if we didn't believe it, we backed up, we'd be virtue signaling our faith, pretending to be something that we're really not.
Try to live by the cross that you wear and not just wear it as, like we talked about last week, that girl said, oh, it matches my outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to live by it. And
be like whatever you're representing or putting out in the world, represent and be that. Don't just do it because it's what's cool, like hashtag standing with something.
Yes, there's that.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a good hashtag. standing with something,
Yeah.
standing with anything, because it just makes you feel better inside because you know that I'm standing with something.
Well, because everyone else did it.
Yes.
It's like we've seen that throughout our culture for the last. I mean, what we were talking about back when we were in teenagers or when we were in high school or college.
Oh, the ice bucket.
The ice bucket challenge.
The ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, the ALS ice bucket challenge.
Like I was telling you, by the time I even heard about it, I didn't know what it was about. It had just been everywhere, and people were just, I'm so-and-so, and I challenged this person to dump some water on their head. Yeah. And I didn't even know what it was about. You were supposed to donate, or if they didn't do it, you're supposed to pay.
Didn't do it within a certain amount of time, and you challenged 2 people.
Yeah. I didn't even know that. I just thought people were, like it was a fun challenge. Like this, what's that one challenge, the cinnamon challenge?
Yeah.
I thought it was something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can do this one. I don't want to eat
a
spoonful of cinnamon, but I can dump some water in my head. Sure.
It was kind of like the first social media trend, because it was back when social media was rolling.
Did you do the ice bucket challenge?
I did. I did it with the bucket of the tractor.
Oh, you did?
I put cold water in there. And it was back when I was in the radio days, and that's when I did that. I remember doing it. I challenged Garrett and Wes for that.
I think I jumped into a pool in wintertime.
But I do remember, I got mine done,
yeah.
So I was fine with it. But it's just really funny. I remember you and Cheslin did it, yeah, and that's because you're the ones who challenged me. Yeah, that's who it was. That's weird how that came back to me.
That's funny that's like I feel like it was like the blossoming of social media and stuff back then. And that's what, maybe 10 years ago. Like you
2014,
you were in college.
Yeah, 2014.
At the radio station. I think I was a senior or just out of
high school
at the time when that happened.
Yeah, but going back to the point of virtue signaling, it's like a lot of people did it, and your point, you had no clue about it, or even if they did it, they acted like I donated this, and most likely they didn't. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of people who will say that they donate to charities or do things of that nature, and they really don't do it. They just say they're doing it.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what virtue signaling is. It's like being a person who's of trying to make people feel like you're a person of virtue. And that's
falsely, yeah.
That's falsely not living to yourself and taking care of yourself, and you're trying to do stuff for other people, the worldly people.
Yeah.
And that's what's really frustrating about when you see things like this. And again, going back to the video we made this week, that's all we talk about. We want to live a life of what we stand for and what we believe, and we wear clothing, we wear merch, we preach about it all the time. Well, we share the word about it a lot. We don't preach, but we do stand for it, and that's we put God first, we put our family first, when we put our country first.
Yep.
And it's very controversial to say that today.
It's hard to say, oh, I put my country, before other things, and you put your family before even that, and like we say, we put God before all of that.
Yeah.
And that is controversial in these days. And like we've said before, you have to rebel against the things that the mainstream kind of pushes on everyone and wants you to go along with whatever the flavor of the month is, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
The flavor of almost the day now. It's changed.
That's true.
It used to be like the flavor of the month, but now it's the week. Now I think it's the day. It changes every day.
That's something else we've talked about before. Like you were saying earlier, we like to make videos about stuff that's going on in the world. It's hard to even keep up sometimes.
Yeah.
Because literally every week it's something
new.
Something crazy is happening.
Yeah. And a couple weeks ago, we put out 4 original videos because there was so much out there, what's going on, and we had to hit it.
Yeah.
But then there's some weeks when there's nothing going on to where we feel like it's even worth making light of or making comedic side of that.
Yeah.
And you get some people who, even if you make comedic things of things going on in the world that are serious and going on, it's they don't appreciate anything about that.
It's funny. You know what I mean? You were talking about everything happening. I heard somebody say that there's decades where nothing happens, and then there's weeks where decades happen. Yeah. And I feel like we're in that time.
We've been in that time for the last, I'd feel decade. We've probably lived a century in this decade.
Pretty much our whole lifetime. But then I wonder if other generations feel that way too. I feel like it's just ramped up.
We asked Grandma Kay, it's funny when you talk about her first half of her life versus the back half. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like the first half of her life, and she was through World War II, the Cold War, Korean War. She's been through a lot of that, and I think now she'd say it feels like everything's sped up now.
Yeah.
Especially probably post 9/11.
And with the access to all the different technologies and stuff, you're getting it everywhere. You can't turn around without getting news and information.
It's like information overload on top of news overload on top of... And
then everybody has to post about it, and everybody has to, like you said, has to put their thing out there, their hashtag standing for something.
Yeah.
Everybody has to do it. It's not just like the back
and
in the
if
day.
you don't do it, you're the worst person ever.
Yeah, you don't care.
You don't care because you didn't post about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I can't talk to you no more.
We're not watching your videos.
What would you call that earlier? The shame, something public shaming.
Public shaming.
It's public shaming. Shame! It's scarlet lettering people because they don't want to conform to your earthly ideals. Is essentially what we're doing. Yeah. We're being rebels to the social norm of doing this stuff. Because I can tell you right now, I know for a fact you couldn't have gotten me to put things in my bio. You couldn't have gotten it from the time I had social media to even now where we're at. Like I'm not doing it.
See, even as I've grown like stronger in my faith and stuff and myself, I feel like I've never went. I mean, besides the ice bucket challenge, that's probably about it. I know, how dare you do that? But I feel like I've never actually. Somebody's probably gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go find it." I might have, but nothing I can think of where I'm like, "Oh, I'm jumping on this bandwagon." You know, I'm gonna get some clout off of posting about this, and trying to virtue signal. I'm so virtuous because I care. I care so much. I posted about it.
Good for you. Good for you.
On my Instagram.
Man, if you didn't do that, I don't think the world would be a better place.
It's true. The world is a better place since I posted that on my Instagram.
I mean, I don't want to be negative with this. It's just like we're trying to just bring the light. I know a lot of people may not be aware of their own understanding of what they're doing when they do stuff like this. But what good are you really doing is the question.
Yeah.
Are you really doing it? If you believe that, are you going to go and donate? Are you going to go and fly over to another country and help them? Are you going to do that stuff? Or are you just saying, oh, I did my part by sharing a post?
You know, the best thing you can do is to take care of yourself, where you're at, your family, your community, your country, but start locally.
And where can you start with yourself best? Where can you start?
I would start in your heart, in your faith with God. That's the best thing. I think I should read this verse we got here.
I think you should let the people know about this verse.
Okay, we found this verse earlier. I'm going to read it to you. It's from 1 Timothy. Keep a close watch on how you live and on your teaching. Stay true to what is right for the sake of your own salvation and the salvation of those who hear you.
Man.
Timothy got it there.
Timothy. Well, it feels like that's kind of like what we're trying to tell you here, but how we're living our lives right now too. It's because we're men of faith. Again, God comes first to us, family, and our country. And we believe that, we practice it, and we know that there's people listening here and agree with us. We do know that, and we appreciate y'all too.
We really do appreciate it.
And there's plenty of people who don't want to hear it, and that's fine. But we know that taking this approach, taking care of ourselves first, is only going to bring better content for y'all, bring better messaging like this to y'all, because it essentially is what it's all about. Yeah. Because like we always talk about, personal excellence is truly, our friend Andy always says it, is the ultimate rebellion. And that's in life, freedom, and happiness. And that's what our country's about. That's what faith is truly about.
Yeah.
Your access to heaven and to God is to be taking care of yourself with Him and having that personal relationship and that connection.
It's the best thing you can do. Like you asked, what's the best thing you can do? It's to have that faith in God. And to have a personal relationship with Him. Talk to God. Try to pray every day. I try it. Sometimes I fail. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I fail.
I'm the same way.
I try to read my Bible every day. I don't read my Bible every day.
We're human.
I'm human, yeah. I get caught up. I get busy, kid, work, other stuff. It's always something. But it's a poor excuse, but it does happen.
But when you start doing it more and more, and you know how good it makes you,
yes,
it truly does make you feel better. It becomes a discipline in your life.
Yeah,
where you're doing it 9 times out of 10, or where you're doing it 265 days out of 365, or you're doing it every day. You get almost like, it's like, you want to talk about the best thing to get addicted to? Is this book right here, and it will change your life. And having a relationship with God, and knowing that He sent His Son Jesus to come and die for your sins, is truly the ultimate we talked about that, like that having that shield on ourselves and like having that, like we feel invincible. It gives you that self-confidence. It gives you that belief in everything you stand by and you live for. And that's how we know when we say make certain videos and say something, people go, I can't believe you guys said that. It's like, well, we know what we're doing, how we believe, because we know what comes first for us.
Yes. We stand by the things that we say.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we've put out there that we're like, oh, we're going to have to go delete that because somebody put an angry comment on it or something. You know, we were talking about Andy. He was talking about how a lot of people don't want to stand for something. They don't want to not just put a square or something out there, but to stand for something because they're afraid of some backlash.
Yep. Yeah.
And
how many times did you see, I got to say it, but how many times I saw DJ the other day shared hashtag stand for America. And I didn't see that many of those out there, you know?
I didn't see a single one.
But you saw a bunch of others. And again, it's a horrible thing going on in the world right now, and our prayers are to...
Absolutely. Like, that's...
Because, again, that we're not going to, like, hone in on that specific thing, but it's like, it's horrible.
It's an atrocity. Yeah, whatever is going on is terrible.
And, like, what we best can do here is have our prayers for them.
Yes.
And you know, God's going to take care of that. But that's been going on for a long time, too, in his within everything going on in the world of just for like this
the whole world,
the whole battle that we have to fight. We're always talking about. It's been a part of that story for a long time.
Yes.
And so the best we can do is be our strongest selves here and practice on ourselves, get better, so then we can be better for everyone outside too.
That's the best thing to do. Like we keep saying, is take care of yourself, your family, your community, and your country. And then everything else will start to fall in line.
If we all did that, I think you would see this snowball effect.
Oh, it definitely would.
And it would leak out to other places. That's what the founding fathers believed. They believed in it's like it's not isolationism, but it kind of is. If America's this bright, shining city on a hill, it will always be the example for the rest of the world.
Well, it's kind of. I was just thinking, you know, like if you have a neighbor and you are taking good care of your house, like. My neighbor, it seems like every time I mow my lawn, a few days later, my neighbor's got his lawn mowed.
Challenge accepted.
So it's like, if you take care of your home, other people will see that.
Yeah.
And
set a standard.
You're saying it snowballs. It sets a standard for your community and for those around you and for your family. And that helps them push themselves to become better.
Yeah.
And to do better and to take care of the things that they have. And that's the best thing that we can do. Because everything that's thousands and thousands of miles away, we can't do anything by posting anything.
It doesn't really do any
we're not going to actually do any good.
It can't affect that.
But the only effect that we can do is in our personal lives, right here where we're at, where God has us.
Yep. He put us here for a reason. This is part of our path, part of our story, and we need to water the grass that we're on.
Yeah.
And we need to take care of what we're doing. And people are like, that's not what the Bible says. Yeah, that's what the Bible. We just read that from the Bible to you.
Keep a close watch on how you live and your teaching.
It's
somebody will come back with another verse
that says, it says love thy neighbor. Well,
yes.
My neighbor lives literally 15 feet from me, 20 feet from me, not 15, 20,000 miles away. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's a big difference in what that means. But also, it's like, again, if you're not taking care of yourself and bettering yourself and setting that standard to uplift those around you in a physical sense and in a spiritual sense.
Yeah.
Then,
that's like something we've talked about is that we do that for each other.
Yeah.
It's because we're right here. Iron sharpens iron, yeah. And if it wasn't for you doing the things that you do, I wouldn't become a better person than I am. And I feel like you said the same.
Yep.
And that's the best thing we can do is to help those around you become better through the things that you do and the hard work that you put in yourself. And that's really, it's just like, I don't know, what's the word? It like dissolves into other people, you know, when you do something.
It's like osmosis.
Osmosis,
you know?
Yeah. Getting scientific. My wife's a science teacher, so I hear these terms. I might not understand them, but I hear them.
Well, and then essentially the other part is like that only works if you're not enforcing your standard on somebody else, like enforcing it and trying to like be a policeman and like this is how we think, so you have to think, like how when we share this message, like we're not telling you this is how you have to think, we're saying like this is how we think, and this is why we think like this, and because of this book right here and because of our faith in God, we're able to share this way with you, not because we're telling you need to do this. Like we're not enforcers, we're enlighteners.
I like that.
I'd rather be an enlightener than an enforcer any day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, think about it, too. When Jesus came, did he come on a horse with a sword?
No.
To strike everybody down? No. He came on a donkey in love. Yeah. You know, and he came to love people.
Yeah.
He didn't come and fight people to take over them, to force his father on people.
Yeah.
He came and showed love, and people came to him.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
We're not going to force you, like you're saying. We're not going to force anything on you. We're going to show you what we believe, and if you want to believe the same,
good on you.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the brotherhood.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you, brothers in Christ or sisters in Christ.
Yeah, brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
everybody.
brothers and sisters.
We'll take you out.
Yeah, we'll take them all on.
Yeah. Have them over for supper.
Have them over for supper. Granny whip you up
Might
a nice,
get some new
nice pot of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
We can sit and chit-chat. I think that'd be nice.
Join a Sunday night conversation.
Have our conversation ourselves.
Yeah. Have an actual face-to-face conversation.
Maybe we should set this up.
That would be fun.
Then you have some person show up.
Somebody holding
a meme.
You.
No!
Of course.
You guys worship a person, or like, did you watch our idol conversation? No, we don't. We worship one.
Yep. Only one God.
Yep. Well, I mean, essentially, that's what we wanted to hit on tonight was this, and I think it was a great way of getting our message across that we wanted to just share, is that we're always working on bettering ourselves to be the best versions for y'all, be the best versions for our family, and that's where we're going to ultimately make the biggest impact in this world.
Yep.
Not by virtuously.
Yeah. No virtue signaling. Signal your virtue inward.
Not, yeah.
Take care of yourself, and in turn, it'll take care of the world.
And you'll be a light for the world.
It's true.
Well, I think it's a good one, man.
I like it.
All right.
You're good.
Very good, very good.
Very good, very good.
Very good, very good. Well, you all have a great week.
God bless.